Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV for the last game of the season match reaction. I mean, it feels like last, but football will come around very quick again, guys. We've got the Euros in between, and then also Chelsea will be back in pre-season as well. But we will be keeping you busy with shows, guys. You're going to have a lot of shows coming from us in the next, well, especially this week. A show a day every week. Which we'll be going through. We've got the match reaction today with a bit of transfer news, a bit of Poch talk, a bit of Thiago Silva talk, all of that. Match reactions through the tier makers to do. And then tomorrow and the next 4 days, we've got the end of season review shows, which are going to be categorized and broken down, guys. So we're going to do tomorrow, goalkeeper and defense. Wednesday will be the midfield. Thursday will be the forward line. And then Friday will be all about the manager himself. Very, very interesting times at the football club because this week Pochettino is going into conversations and talks with the owners about his potential. His potential on whether he will be at this club or not. We'll see what happens. Nearly 50 people in the building. Smash the likes and let's cue that intro. People, welcome back to GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV for another match reaction. The last match reaction of the season, guys. Chelsea managing to make it into 6th position. And now it's all about waiting for the final against Manchester City and United to see whether Chelsea fully solidify themselves in that Europa League position. It is out of our hands. If Man United beat Man City in that final, Chelsea will finish 7th. And get a Conference League position, guys. How are you all in the chat? Come and say hello. Good to see you all as well. Hope you're all having an amazing Monday as well. Over 50 people in the building. Good to see you all, guys. What we've been saying, guys, let me know in the chat. Cheers, Lewis G. Appreciate a contributor who thoughts are logical and make sense. Big up to Lewis as always. Henro says we were poor after the first 10 minutes of the game. I can't say that on LHS with Cornco here. Destroyed every player that played on Chelsea's right-hand side, including Gusto. Well, we are lucky to get 3 points. Joey's in the building. Big up, Joey. He says, hit the like, guys. If we're not hitting that thumb, what we're doing is nearly 100 people here already. Hit the thumb, guys. We've got back-to-back shows for you this week. You're going to be seeing a lot of my face and a lot of talk from the panel this week because it is every day this week. We will be putting on a show for you guys, a show. So today's the match reaction. Tomorrow's the categories on the defense. Wednesday's the midfield. Thursday's the forward line. And then Friday is the big conversation with the panel in and around Pochettino and the manager. Who knows? Maybe by then he might even be gone. Who knows? Who really knows? But we've got lots to get into beforehand, guys. Before we even get into the game, I want to start with not that. I don't want to start with that. I don't know what that's about. I want to start with this. Where is it? No, we don't want to start with this. We want to start. What is this? Is this? Yes, Pies. We need to start with Pies. Where's Pies? Where's Pies? There he is. Bit of transfer news because what we haven't spoke about is Esteval joining Chelsea and not only not being not going out on loan. He will not be going on loan. He will be staying at Chelsea Football Club. Via Fabrizio Romano, Esteval will not go out on loan in 2025. He will immediately be considered a first-team player, guys. Chelsea believe he's super special. They believe he is super special, that good at that age to be able to come into this team and probably take a season or two to mould in, which we expect for a young player as he is. But there's a lot of pressure being put on this young boy to come in and hit the ground running, really. Billy, what you're saying, it would be pointless for us to sack Poch. You start seeing building something. Team spirit is better than previous years. Good pre-season. And we'll listen, look, Pochettino's done all we can up to this point. We're going to be talking about a lot about Pochettino in a second. You know, there's not more that he could have done at the end of the season. It's just how late he's actually done it. And I think for him to have just shown this intention and this proactiveness and this, this act, this kind of movement that we've seen, we only wish that it was earlier on in the season that he decided to invert Cucurella, that he decided to stick to a system, that he decided not to move players out of position and ask them to play in roles that they're not comfortable in. These are all things that fall on him as a coach, and we've spoke about it so many times. Big up, Vic. Good to see you. Next season, Chelsea will be better. Well, that's the question. We're going to listen. We're not going to do too much talking about specifics of Pochettino and stuff, because we're going to do that on Friday. Remember that, guys. We've got a lot of shows coming for you this week as well. But staying on with Estaval, this is one player that apparently is going to be a part of the first team from the 2025 onwards. We'll have to see closer to the time if that ends up becoming true. So that means he'll be another contender for the right-hand side of that Chelsea forward line, which is Madueke, him. If Sterling's here, which we're not sure on. Kendry Piaz is another one as well that will be coming in at some point as well. There's a lot of young talent that are going to be given the opportunity in the next year or two to be able to mix with the players that we have at the moment and really see whether they're ready for this league. And that's the big question. You should sign all these young players and then saying to them, look, you ain't going out alone because we think you're special. You're staying in the team. But then it's down to this player to show that he's in that, and it's very hard to do this to him because he's so young. He's going to be turning, 17, 18? So, it's a lot of pressure for a player like him to come into a club like Chelsea and prove and show for the money that's been spent on him what he's about. And he's going to be very raw. And there's going to be things that he needs to improve in his game. And he's going to need to find his way through it. He's still got to become what he's going to become in the next 2, 3, 4 years, whatever that is as well. And he's got to find his way, guys. And it's going to be interesting to see how we utilize him, how we use him, and what we do with him moving forward. I think they should go on loan. This is the thing, you're buying £60 million worth of euros of young, talented players to not always continuously send them out on loan, Thomas. That's the issue. You can't spend that kind of money and then just keep loaning them out. They've eventually got to get in this team, right? I do think one year loan would be good for him, though. I think bringing them in here and then throwing them into European football or maybe somewhere else and giving them like a year or two there and then bring them back in is maybe a good idea. But then it just depends how good they are and if they're ready for us, if they're actually ready for this. Good afternoon, peeps. Good to see you all. Wouldn't we be better if we signed experienced players for next season or improving youngsters? I think they're going to have to look at experience because letting Thiago Silva go, the fact that Sterling may even go, but I think he might stay for one more year. There's a number of players that are experienced. Reece James, who doesn't really stay fit or isn't even available at this point. There's a lot of things that I agree with the experience side, and I think it's important. But experience doesn't mean players that have won things and whatever. For me, experience means a lot of things. It means about how long they've been playing in a competitive nature in what leagues. There's a lot of things, Yes, Billy rather would have signed Elise. Elise is a good player. You've seen what they're doing. You see what they're doing over there. They're absolutely annihilating people, These Brazilian boys know how to play ball. Well, that's for sure, Doggy. That's the one thing I will agree on. They do know how to play ball. And that's the one thing that don't shock me in terms of us trying to sign this. And it's not that. A lot of the Brazilian Twitter feeders that I've been reading that know about Estaval and Piaz have said that Chelsea fans don't know what they've actually signed. They just think it's another young player that they've bought on the books that's going to be loaned and whatever. But what they're treating them out there as really special, And for Brazilian journalists and Brazilian people to be saying that based on what they've watched, I'd rather take their opinion than even our own because we don't have a clue. Let's be serious. I've not watched enough of him as well. I just need to see, And then we'll see, and we'll see where he is. Is he raw? And then we go from there. So Estaval will be joining us then. And now we go on to the manager talk because there's been some weird talks in and around managers, right? We know this week's a very big week. Pochettino's got meetings with Egbali and Winstanley and all of that as well. That's all going to be going on. But there's talks about the potentials of Pochettino still leaving this football club. And it could still happen. I still think he's going to stay because he's made Europa League football. Even if we went into conference, I don't really think that's his fault to a degree because he's still got us to there. It's just out of his hands now at this point. However, there are still talks about him not maybe being favoured. And Ruben Amorim is another manager that's being highly touted to wanting to move on and leave, join the club. We know De Zerbi has just confirmed that he's leaving Brighton and will be an available coach. And then there's Kieran McKenna. Now, this is where it starts to confuse me. Kieran McKenna are both waiting on the wings in case Chelsea opt to make a managerial change this week. Chelsea are thought to have sounded out representatives of both Amorim and McKenna in recent weeks. This is where I get confused. Because with Amorim, I get all right, he's in the Portuguese league. They've won things, this, that, and the other. He's got that nature. He's proven it. Do you know what I mean? You've seen it with him. With De Zerbi, he's been in the Premier League. He's been in the Premier League. He knows how it works, blah, 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 blah. partly, I don't even know if I want him. I don't think I do want him, to be quite honest with you, because every time I look at Brighton, I think of Potter, and I think about all of the discussions that we had about how great Graham Potter was there and how good he was under that Brighton. And then when he comes to Chelsea, he's going to be amazing. And then he ended up flopping. And with De Zerbi, I have reservations, and there's like some big reservations in his overall coaching. I'm not too sure if it's too early. And I keep saying this, these kind of jobs for De Zerbi, for Potter, for even Kieran McKenna, who I'm going to throw in there because he's done a very good job at Ipswich, by the way, which is in the Championship team, which we should not be looking at. And if we are, the board need a slap in the fucking head. They need a slap in the back of the head. Wake up. Because we shouldn't be getting rid of Pochettino to get Kieran McKenna. Not based on our previous 2 years of proof of crap that we've had. So why they're looking at these managers, I don't know. But it really agitates me that they're even entertaining it or supposedly entertaining this, because McKenna is not nowhere near ready. Because he's done well at Ipswich, it doesn't mean then he can do the same job at Chelsea. There's a massive jump in difference in terms of expectations and what's required at this football club. And where we are as a football club is high expectations. We are Chelsea Football Club. We want to see the best. We want to see ourselves back up there in the top 4, challenging for trophies, being up there with the Man Cities. Yeah. We're not going to do that by keep bringing in these managers that do very well in one season at a club, at a mid-table club, and think that they can do the exact same over here and bring it in a completely different atmosphere, different type of pressure, and different type of expectations. It doesn't make sense. Why are we doing that? Why are we even looking to entertain this? It doesn't make sense, guys. There's nearly 150 of you here, guys. Big up to every single one of you. Keep smashing the likes, guys. Get the likes up. Run it up. Tap the screens as well, please. Tap those likes. Share it out as well. Sacking Poch would be suicide, is what Total Diversity is saying. Championship coach for real. Yep, exactly. What else have we got here? Our job is too big for all these clowns. This is the issue, though. This is really the real big issue of why I'm not happy with having Pochettino. I'll be quite honest with you. I wasn't happy with him joining our club in the first place. But he's starting to now paint an image, and the players are playing to a system they understand. We're starting to see results, and he's being active. Out of all of these guys that we're being linked to, Pochettino is still the most experienced manager out of all of them. It don't make sense to me. Yeah, and I'm hoping and pray to God that even if we do get rid of Poch, which I am not too sad about, if we do get rid of him, that we don't go and get a McKenna or a De Zerbi. And that's my issue. The actual availability of managers in this window is not pretty. So keeping Pochettino for another year and sticking to this whole thing of which I have been saying, even at the beginning of these owners, of giving people opportunities to build what they need to build. Maybe we do need to do that one more time. But that means, for me, the pressure increases. The pressure increases on him, Pochettino, to make sure that now how we finish the end of the season, we continue to prolong that next season. And I don't care if we're missing Nkunku or Reece James or whoever. You need to make sure that we're performing and winning the games that we should have won last season, and being active and making right decisions in games and, man management. Like, we need to see this all, We need to see this all. Hey, Bobby, how you doing? Good to see you. Second Poch would be a TT move by Bowley. People were now saying to keep Pochettino. He's got us a European football from like 15th in the league. Yep, I hear you. It's all because Winstanley, he's the cat. Yeah, Winstanley as well. People not too happy with Winstanley. Then there's comments here about Pochettino and his job. Crucial days for Maurizio Pochettino as discussions are set to take place. Now, listen, there's going to be discussions taking place about him staying at the club. I think in terms of achieving targets, I think he's done that. I think he will be given the opportunity to stay at the club, in my opinion. The next discussion is recruitment. How do you strengthen? What do we need? And from a fan's perspective, looking in, it's very evident that now Thiago Silva's leaving. We may even be looking like the likes to sell Gallagher, Chalobah, the need for a forward line, the facts that maybe Sterling or another winger might leave, maybe not. I don't think they will. It's very obvious that we need a centre-back. That's to start with. For me, we need to find a proven, experienced centre-back to come in. And we need someone to kind of sit next to one of these, because I've seen Chalobah and Badiashile, and it's here. I've seen Disassi and Badiashile, and it's Chuckle Brothers. Yeah, we have Colwill and Fofana. Colwill's had a toe injury for about God knows how many months. It's not even been available, but there's promise there. But still, it's still too early to say if even Colwill is good enough for me, for this club, in my opinion. Fofana, in the short space of time that we've actually seen him, has shown some very decent performances, but at the same time, has also been awful on the pitch. Let's not ignore that. So with some of the mistakes that he's made defensively, and he's only been available for a quarter of 2 seasons. So we need a centre back. If he's going to stay, they need to support him. Now, I'm not saying let him go out into the market and go, I want him, and him, and get rid of him. I'm not saying that, because I don't think Pochettino should be given the opportunity to fully be in control of who comes in and out the door, in my opinion. But what I think they should be asking him is, okay, what is it you think you need? Where are we with things? Okay, well, if Thiago Silva's leaving, I think we do need someone at the back, even though we spent a lot of money there. The boys that we've got at the moment are not, I'm not too sure on them. Let's try and find someone, maybe not expensive, but on the experience side that we can bring in as an option, fits in, proven, whatever. Then you look at the forward line. Are we going to get a striker? Now, what do you do with this striker? Because I don't see us going to spend 130 million on Victor Osimhen. There's talks about Caicedo being available for 60 million euros, which I think is quite cheap. I'm not going to lie. There's also talks about Ivan Toney being available for 40 million, which is on the cheaper side. So what do we do here? Do we keep Jackson? Obviously, we're going to keep Jackson, but have Jackson and then buy a striker with, but maybe not to the levels where it's like that, if that makes sense. Someone that's sort of comparable comes on, does a job. You can rotate, you can play that striker and put Jackson on the left, for example, and then see the development and keep growing development, because it allows Jackson to be more involved in the season. Or do you go and sign a top European killer in front of goal and maybe limit Jackson or limit someone's minutes that we've spent loads of money on, either Mudryk or whoever, Madueke, Jackson, if he does or doesn't start? What is it we need? How are we going to approach it? And it's how we approach it and what we do, So Pochettino, I think will be given the opportunity to stay. We've got 140 people in the building, guys. Hit the like button, guys. I keep stressing, please hit the like buttons. You guys are going to get a show every day this week, all the way up till Friday. From tomorrow, we're going through the defense and goalkeeper end of season review. On Wednesday, we're doing the midfield end of season review. On Thursday, we're doing the forward end of season review, talking about strikers, talking about the wingers. And then Friday is the big manager end of season review. So each and every day for the next 4 or 5 days, you're going to have a stream, guys, on here to be able to get involved in. So lots and lots and lots going on. Those involved in the review will seek to determine whether it was quality of the signings or Pochettino's tactics that made them such an attacking force, and will assess whether the head coach has improved players. Now, that's a really interesting question. That is a really interesting question. Really, really is. Those involved in the review will seek to determine. So they're going to analyze the overall season before they sit with properly Pochettino. They're going to decide whether it was just to do with the quality of players that have come in, that have got us to the point we are now, or is it Pochettino's tactics that have made them such an attacking force? Well, it could be a bit of both, couldn't it, really? I think it's going to be very hard to determine, because at the end of the day, he has lost a lot of injuries throughout early in the season. And if we would have had a Nkunku, for example, or Reece James, or all these type of players that we know fit in, that are equally very important to what we're trying to do here, yeah, maybe he would have had more points. But then the argument on the flip side of it is from Pochettino would be, well, if I had him and I had him, my tactics would have been displayed more. So I've just been let down purely by injuries, which I think is probably going to be his argument. But what they should be analysing for me specifically with the tactics, it's not that. It's just the system. With tactics is the system and structure and how he set us up in games, how active he was in games, and his man management as a coach in games. How did he deal with the moments that were hard back then? What was it that was so bad? Was it just that the players were so bad? because that's what a lot of people, Pochettino, say. Oh, the players are so bad, but you blame Poch. Well, no, it can't be that. It can't be that because now these players are performing. But you just said these players were bad and now they're playing well. Because of a shock of a sudden, they're performing in a system and a structure, which is what a lot of the Poch hours were moaning about back then, or the people that were unsure on Poch were moaning about then. Stick to a system, try and get them to play in a position that suits them. Yeah, stop playing Colwill left back or putting Cucurella right back or playing, Enzo as a 10 or Gallagher. Playing Gallagher off the left. Cucurella wing back some games. Like random things that just didn't make sense in what he was doing. I guess he's got to try and assess and make mistakes. Coaches can make mistakes. We need to understand that. They will. And I get that for the first season. But it's how they react after. How do they then notice, shit, no, not again. Fuck that. This is what I've got to do. No, we're not doing that again. That didn't work. The balance was everywhere. That was on me. Move on. I can accept that. But not every game watching the same shit. Oh, yeah, we just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Get him to play like that. Yeah, it doesn't matter if it doesn't work. Yeah, keep doing it. That's what we've seen. That's what we've seen. People are anticipating that Chelsea might sack Poch, but what people don't get is that with the demand in the manager market, Poch might sack Chelsea. That's true. Poch might even walk. That's another thing. Poch might walk. Poch might walk. It's true. What do you disagree with specifically, Thomas? What do you disagree with? I think at the start of the season, our players didn't run, so Poch had to start Colwill at left back and Chilwell left wing. Players didn't run. What do you mean run? That makes no sense to me. What, you're just saying the lack of effort from the players is why Poch's system wasn't working? Listen, execution's important. Like, they have to understand what they're doing on the pitch. Like, I get that. And yeah, Mudryk is a defensive nightmare, so is Cucurella. Well, you say that, but then Cucurella's been very good recently. So, yeah, I agree. Like, consistency is a problem. But he's still the guy giving him the instructions and asking him to execute his game plan. If it's not working, try something different. In game. I'm not saying change the systems all the time, but I'm saying impact it. You had Maatsen with you pretty much the whole season. Why weren't you playing him? I'm sorry, but you can't ignore the fact that he had Maatsen all the way up till January. He didn't play him once when we had no left back and just decided to play Colwill there, who wasn't even a left back. Why didn't you use Maatsen? Like, these are the things you can't defend him for. So I get what you're saying about players not doing or this, that, and the other. I understand that can be a part of the problem in inconsistency, but he still made stupid decisions. Like, we can't ignore it. And they'll give him a deal to reunite with Dyer, okay? Do you get what I mean? So, like, it goes both ways. And we're not going to get too stuck on Poch because I want to go into the game. But this is, and we're going to do a Pochettino discussion as well later in the week. But this is the points tally. There you go. Out of all of our managers, Chelsea managers' points totaled after their first 38 Premier League games this century. There you go. First 38. Even Frank Lampard has got 66. Even Frank Lampard, who is apparently our worst manager of all time, got 66. I mean, Potter's not there. No shock. But Mourinho, 95, Conte and Ancelotti, they're the three that are meant to be our best ever managers. And then Tuchel is on 79. So say best four managers. Sarri, who a lot of people rated, was 72. Then it was Lampard, Ranieri and Pochettino. I mean, to be fair, I think Maatsen is more Tuchel's fault than Poch. Why is it Tuchel's fault? Why is it Tuchel's fault? I don't understand why that. Why is this season Maatsen's Tuchel's fault? Tell me. I really want to know the context behind it. Because when you say context, I want to know what you mean. What's the context behind Maatsen being Tuchel's fault? Because I don't understand. Lampard, where in my eyes, he started the evolution. Is what Joey says. Fez, Why is it? Because this is where people, and I'm not trying to dig at Thomas here, because Thomas has his own opinions, and I like people who have their own opinions. I like it. Tuchel decided not keeping Maatsen and buying Cucurella. Fine. But then there was a period, bro, where we didn't have Cucurella or Chilwell. So this guy, and how is it? And this is not Tuchel's fault. This is Poch's fault. This is a period where we had no left wing, and we had a wing at left back there available, and he still didn't pick him. And this is what doesn't make even more sense. In pre-season with Pochettino, he played Maatsen quite a lot, by the way. So he obviously just didn't trust him. He just didn't trust him. But that's still, for me, one problem of Potter's idea of talent. Because the fact that he watched him over pre-season, never gave him a chance to play in the left-back position, uses him as a substitute in odd games to play off the right wing, and then told him to disappear in January. And then he goes over to Dortmund and plays his natural position. He's actually in the final of a Champions League and playing very well. I mean, you've got to question talent there, talent ID. How you ain't seeing that is a bit weird. It's a bit weird. We can't ignore it, though. I don't know how we're ignoring that comment, but we move. Anyway, Pochettino's last couple of Pochettino's record at Chelsea: 27 wins, 10 draws, 14 losses. Does he deserve next season? Well, we're going to talk about that Friday, guys. Big Pochettino discussion. Manager in, manager out. Panel's going to be here. We're going to analyze his season. We're going to talk about it in numbers. We're going to talk about it in context. We're going to go through the fixture list and that period as well. It's going to be interesting. Well, he started Maatsen in attack to say to the board how arse our attack was. That don't make no sense, Thomas, because our attack ain't arse, is it? Because we scored more goals with this attack than we have with any of our last attacks in the last 3 years. So, I'm sorry. I don't think Pochettino can be defended in the decision-making of Maatsen. There was Cucurella Chilwell not even available, and he still didn't play him. And he chose to play Colwell out of position, which was shit. That was his choice. That was on him. That's for me. And this is what I'm saying. Like, you can't ignore these things, guys. As much as he's done well to this point, we can't forget what we saw. We have to take in everything. Why are people reaching all to safeguard? I'm just trying to bring a bit of context to it, Nyack. I'm just trying to say, this is where we are now, and he's done very well. And I've even said he should get next season. He's going to get next season. He's got Europa League football, that and the other. But you can't forget some of the mistakes that's happened in the season. Almost a whole new start 11. Most of them not having the ESPL key injuries, and let's be honest, some of the players are overpriced, but still managed to get sixth. Yes, but we could have been fourth. Do you know we're 5 points from fourth? So if we didn't draw against Sheffield United because Conor Gallagher was playing left wing, or draw against Burnley, we could have been fourth. We could have ended in the Champions League position. I don't think people actually deep it. He should have gone multiple times during the season, but hey, we are Chelsea. At that time it was without Palmer though. I just think I ain't excusing him for that. I mean, I appreciate your opinions on it, but we're going to move from it. Madueke and Mudryk ain't it. So you're saying they're just not good enough. I'm not saying everything Poch does is amazing, by the way. Also not his biggest fan. I just have my opinions. There's nothing wrong with your opinions. There's nothing wrong with your opinions. There's nothing wrong with your opinions if that's how you feel. How did Josie not spot the talent with KDB and Salah? I don't know. That's one big thing in my head. Fathom that I don't understand, But do you know what I would say to that, Doggy G? Is if Salah and De Bruyne didn't leave Chelsea, maybe they wouldn't be the players they are today. Because they did go and develop and go somewhere where they were asked to play near enough every game. So their development was based on going to other clubs and reaching that height. And then a team like Man City and Liverpool signing them and believing in them to then go on and do what they did, The Maatsen non-selection at left back might be Egbali meddling in the squad. Poch can't be the daft. I think he is. I think he is daft in areas. And I think if it's not daft, I'll tell you what I think it is. I think he's just been very naive. Because there was many press conferences when he came out and people asked him about playing Colwill in that left-back position. And he said Colwill was a multi-talented centre-back who was able to play in a number of positions. He even defended it. I remember that press conference. This guy even defended the fact that he was playing him there. 150 people in the building, guys. Tap the screens. Let's go. Let's go. Where are we going on to next? Well, Rio Ferdinand's comments actually on Poch. This is what we're going to finish on. Then we're going to get into the game, guys. From what I'm hearing about Mauricio Pochettino, I'm not sure he's going to be there at Chelsea. So Rio Ferdinand thinks maybe Pochettino might walk or he might get sacked. I don't know. Poch is guilty, but it's not all on him. The amount of missed chances we've had all season, and I agree, Fando. That I agree on. Messing up one-on-ones good. Yes, 1,000,001%. Chelsea asked the club to buy Salah. True. So yeah, let's move away from Poch because I want to talk about the game. I want to really talk about a man that's been an amazing servant of this club, Thiago Silva, man. Thiago Silva, guys. A day full of emotions. Thank you all for the incredible. Let me quickly get a WhatsApp as well because I've got to get the boys in still. Thank you for all the incredible farewell. It has been exciting 4 years in which we have touched glory by winning the Champions League, but where we have also gone through difficult times. 1 of 4. We have celebrated and suffered, but always together. And with your unwavering support, the strength of the club lies in the union of all of who made it, who can make it up. Let me quickly just add this in here, guys, so I don't forget. Put it to the boys. He then goes on to say, I would like to thank all my teammates, coaches, technical staff, doctors, kitmen, and the rest of the club workers who have made my time here unforgettable. And of course, to all the Blues who have supported me from the first day I arrived. Unfortunately, our paths are now parting, but hopefully in the future I can continue to help the club in another way. My sons will continue to wear this shirt with pride, and hopefully they can make it far. The Silva family will be eternally grateful to this club, to the club, and all of you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Once a Blue, forever a Blue. Thiago Silva. And as much as Eden Hazard left the football club, this one's going to hurt. It's going to hurt, man. It's going to hurt. What a player he is. What a player he is, guys. And you can only talk about, in such a hard time at the club, him being here and leading us and being one of the only players that stepped up in moments where, we needed him. And Reece James there with him. Look, this is just sad, isn't it? Absolutely sad. Look at the emotion. Look at the emotion, guys, man. This is how much he loved this club. And he was free, by the way. He was free. And he's still our best defender. He is still my best defender. I don't care what anyone says. And this is why I don't get why his sons are here on contract and he's going all the way to Fluminense. Why didn't we just keep him for another year? His sons are here anyway. Why are we sending him off for? I'm not saying we've got to hold on for him forever because eventually he's got to retire, but he's going somewhere else to play football. He's not saying that he's retiring. If he come out and said, look, I'm retiring now, I'm done, but I'm going to stay here with Chelsea. No. He's gone back to blooming Brazil for a year. Why couldn't we just keep him? Experience. Why would we do this to him? We're idiots. We act like as if we've got such a good defence. It really irritates me thinking about it more. We act like we've got such a good defence. He's still bossing at the highest level of 40, exactly. Playing the way that he's playing. He decided to go. Yeah, look, that's a different story. If he decided to go to Brazil, fair enough. But he promised he'd end his career at Fluminense. Okay, well, that's interesting. If that's the case, then fairs. But if this is on our board again for not giving him it, then I'm not happy.
First, I have to agree with my family now. Thank you so much. I love you. So, I would like to thank you all of you guys and two people in particular. First is Marina and Frank Lampard. Thank you. I would like to thank you all the players, my staff, the club, and you guys, the fans.
Thiago Silva. Thiago Silva.
Thank you for your support and the incredible memories we've created during these 4 incredible years. Now, my dream is to see my children to play one day for you. I love you so much, guys. I miss you. Bye-bye.
Broken, man. Broken. I've even got Thiago Silva top here. Where is it? I think it's this one. There's one thing. Do you know what? I never, ever, in all of my kits that I get, I never, ever get names on the back. This guy was the first person in a long time that I've got their name on the back of a shirt. I just don't do it. I'm not a big fan of it. But I had to in this era. While I'm alive and witnessed in what's been a very topsy-turvy time of Thiago of this football club, have a shirt dedicated to this guy. And it's the gold one. I had to have this. This is the only shirt with writing on the back. I am so glad that I have this shirt dedicated to him. Because for me, he has been the best defender in our team for a very long time. And to be able to perform at the level that Thiago Silva has done at his age is unexplainable. But at the same time, to have the experience, the game knowledge, the calmness, all of it, the consistency in his performances. We overplayed this guy. This guy wasn't brought in to be played every game. But this guy demanded to play every game because he looked after himself, because he loved this club. He grew to love this club with him and his family. And even this season, when he was put on the bench because of his wife coming out with the comments that she did, and let's be serious, and it ended up getting sorted out. I'm glad it did. Because if it had ended with him on the bench all the season with that, Poch would have been Poch out even more. I think this fan base would have been Poch out even more because the defensive displays that we were seeing without Chalobah, without Silva, were not good enough. The guy's won the Champions League. He's won the Club World Cup. He's won the Super Cup. He's won one more trophy. Can't even think. He deserves it. And it's a shame that he came in the period that he came in for me. I wish he was around when we had the experience and the class and players that we had back then when he was at PSG. I wished. And John Terry come out of a comment about Thiago Silva saying, I wished that I had played next to you. Can you imagine a defence of John Terry and Thiago Silva? John Terry and Thiago Silva. And this is a Thiago Silva at this age now. I'm talking about Thiago Silva 7-8 years ago when he was in his early 30s. Balling. Can you imagine having Thiago Silva with John Terry? That. Yeah. Anyway, going back to the game, Chelsea did win the game and we won 2-1. And it wasn't a convincing performance. I actually thought we played pretty crap. It would be filth. It'd been a filth duo. It'd be unbelievable. Unbelievable too. And I actually thought we played crap yesterday. I'm going to be quite honest with you. I wasn't impressed with the way we played. I was impressed. I was happy with how we played in patches, but I don't think we played well. I don't think we had a good performance yesterday. You know, and you look at the goals, and we're going to look at this. And do you know what? What a guy Caicedo is. Caicedo, what a baller this guy is. And do you know what? For me, he probably gets man of the match. He gets man of the match. And this is the first goal, guys. And this got me out of my seat. This actually got me out of the seat. He controls the ball here. And then Bosch. And he launches it from the halfway line. All the way over the head. He had to clear not only the goalie, but look at the defender's position. He had to clear that defender as well. Look, he had to beat two people with that shot. I don't think people realise how good of a goal that is to beat two and hit the back of the net like that. I really don't think people do, no, because to receive it and hit it that far out and put it in the back of the net, he deserves that. He deserves that. He deserves that for how he's performed and has been performing, for the amount of pressure and stick that he's had. Caicedo deserved that. And I rate him so highly. I think he's such a good player. And when he's not in the team, and you saw it in the second half, when he's not in the team, look at the midfield. Look at the midfield, guys. I don't know, you know. I don't know. And then we go on to the second goal, which was Raheem, who I thought had a good game yesterday. I actually thought had a better game than most. You know, again, Cole Palmer, who I thought was poor yesterday. We're going to be doing a match rating soon in a bit, guys. 1-2 with Palmer. He gets in the box. He stands him up. He does a 1-2. It's a typical Sterling in and out very quickly. He beats his man very well. And then you can say it's a lucky goal. He puts it through the goalie's leg and it goes in. But he still has to get himself into that position. And he puts it in the back of the net. And it's a good goal. It's a good goal. Look, he gets it there. Stands up the guy, cuts him right, and then goes in on his left. Look, and it completely does him. Completely does the guy so well. He's gone. See you later. Gets into the box there and straight through the legs of the goalie. Yeah, you can say it's luck, but he still had to get himself into that position. And there was parts of yesterday's game where Sterling was doing a lot of that. He was doing a lot of that drive, you know. And that's what we expect from him. The performance was not perfect, but keep in mind where they're under pressure to get some result, and a good thing they kept it. Well, they did. Look, I'm happy they got the result. There's no condoning the fact that we got the job done. It's just I wasn't very impressed with the whole, you know, the way we played compared to the games I've seen in the last two, where I thought we've actually played pretty well. I don't think we played that well. It's just a very good goal, and this is a better angle of it, guys. In, out, round the goalie, bottom corner. Great goal. Great goal. And then we go on to the conceding goal. The goal that we actually conceded. Now, this is just a mess. This one's just a mess. I'm sorry. We get the ball about here. So we lose the ball. The midfield's everywhere. They whip the ball into the back post. I think that's Kirkez. Now, you look at the back four there as it stands. That looks like a good little line across the four. You know, it looks quite solid. You know, they're all in a decent position. The ball comes in here. Cucurella kind of gets caught thinking that he's going to run in behind, turns his body, allows the guy to bring it down, which I think is the first problem. The second problem is he allows him to take a touch inside. As soon as Cucurella presses, he cuts inside, and look, Cucurella is done. Cucurella's reactions in that moment were well too late. Well too late. But then there was this shot. Now, I can't work out whether that was a good shot or what. Because I just look, it happens. Don't get me wrong. Silva happened to Silva, this, that, and the other. I just feel that it's gone straight to his ankles. And all you can ultimately say is it's weak angles from Badiashile, to be quite honest with you. It's weak angles from Badiashile, and he turns it into his own net. And I just think a lot of it's because he's so heavy. He's like a truck. He's like a truck. He can't, like, I don't know. Maybe if his ankle just flims, it's a strong shot and it goes in and it happens and we just take it. But I don't know. I just... Yeah, I don't know, Josh. Like, I was having this conversation yesterday in the chat about it, and they were saying, oh, you can't be that hard on Badiashile. And I said, I think he could have done better. His leg and his positioning, and, like, I don't know. Like, I'm going to zoom in a bit again. I can't zoom in anymore. Like, and this ain't the best angle. I couldn't find another angle from behind him, but he kind of just flaps his foot at it. He's not really... I don't know. I just feel like Cucurella 100% is at fault. But I just think Badiashile could have just done better there still. Like, it's straight at him. It hits him first before it goes in. It's not even a good shot. Maybe people say it's the power, but I don't think it was that strong. I don't know. I just think it could have been better. You're being harsh on the players. Okay, maybe I am being slightly harsh. I'm not being harsh. I'm asking a question. Actually, I'm asking you a question. Could he have done better? Could he have done better in that position? That's all I'm asking you guys. You know, I just think he's so heavy-footed. Like, he could have turned his body a bit. I don't know. I don't know. Again, I can't see from that angle, and I couldn't find another angle for it, you know? Fans should not microanalyze. Why not? Why not? Why shouldn't I microanalyze? I think we should. I think we can microanalyze. That's what we can do. The shot is def going wide when you see the angle at the back, but at the spot in the box, he has to try and get something on it. Not ideal, but yeah, listen, look, Cucurella should have done better. He got caught in, turn, bang, goal. Like, I saw that. I get it. But I just felt like Badiashile's like body positioning and the way he lifted his leg up was just very lazy. Like, the performance was not good enough, man. And, like, whether you like it or not, I wasn't impressed with the performance yesterday. We won. I wasn't impressed with the performance. Nearly 200 people in the building. Smash the lights, guys. Run it up. Come and say hello in the chat as well. We're about to go into the tier rating, guys. Remember, guys, I'm going to let you guys know as well while you're here, guys. We have got shows for you every day this week from today till Friday. Today we're doing the match reaction to here, but tomorrow we start our end of season review. Tomorrow's category is defense and goalie. We'll be analyzing the defense and goalie for the season, what we need to do, who we sell, who we keep. We'll be doing a tier maker. We'll be talking about that area in depth because that's what we do here, guys. We talk about things in depth. We get the panel in and we go through it. Wednesday is the midfield. We're going to be analyzing the midfield for the season. We're going to be talking about the goals that we've conceded, the ratings, who do we need to buy, all of that. And then Thursday is the forward line. The same thing. Forward line we'll do the same for. And then Friday is the big manager discussion. Friday, we'll be talking about the manager. So a show pretty much every day this week, same time, 1 p.m, right here. Make sure you're hitting the like buttons, guys. We will be here for you every day this week at 1 p.m. Make sure you set yourself a notification as well, guys. Make sure you set yourself a notification as well so that you get a reminder. Season's over. Now is the exact time to analyze. Yeah, exactly, Josh. Exactly. And that's what we're going to do. It was deflected shot, bro. It happens. Okay, Fez. How a player can control a ball with so much time is crazy. Cucurella is not it. No, you blame him for a late kick on the shot. That's it. Okay. Season's over. Now is the exact time to analyse. We will be there all week, Jim. Let's go, Bobby. Well, sorry that you don't have much of an eye for talent. What's going on with you lot? We can't have all 11 players 10-10 for 38. Yeah, obviously not, brother. Obviously not. Obviously not. Like, that's not the point why we do what we do. Like, I think you're over and you're over analyzing the situation right now. I think you're over analyzing the situation right now, brother. It's not that deep. Hey, no worries, Couch. That's fine. I don't know what the others are doing. No one's saying anything, so that's fine. You're over analyzing, Shamina. Right, we're gonna do the match reaction in ratings. We'll talk about the players for the game, last match reaction before the end of season review starting from tomorrow, and we're gonna go into Petrovic. I'm gonna stick him in average. I think he. Do you know what? I was gonna put above average, but it's because he conceded. But then I don't blame him. Do you know what? He made some semi-good saves in this game, like important saves. Some that were because Bournemouth had some really good chances, and some of the chances they created were good shots. And my guy here, solid catches the ball. You know, and I have that. I don't worry too much when he's in goal. I don't have that panic. If it's Kepa and someone shoots from 25 yards out, I'm thinking, what's he going to do with it? He flaps it that way, or he can't reach it, or with Petrovic, he positions himself properly. And then he dives, and like even if he thinks shit, that's a good shot. He kind of just, he's good. He's just good. He's just a very good shot stopper, in my opinion. Now you're good, Couch. This is what I'm saying, Josh. He made two big saves, and the saves that he made were not just like they were good saves, man. So I'm going to say he had an above average performance. I thought he played well because we did ask for him to step up in moments and help us win this game because we weren't playing well yesterday. I don't think we had a good game. For me. No worries, Couch. That's cool. So I want to know if you agree in the chat. Above average? Do you believe he was just average? I think above average is about right for Petrovic. Get lost, mate. Above average is about right for Petrovic on this one for me. What we can do is we can do that because I'm sure most of the players that are at the top are the ones that played. I'm trying to zoom in for you so you can see. Okay, and then we're going to start with left back and Cucurella. Now, I'm going to put him. Based on the performances that I've seen of him in the past, I'm going to put him in poor for this game. I'm going to put him in poor, mainly for the goal, because he gave the guy well too much space, but also the fact that even in game, he seems to give, like he made some, listen, he played okay yesterday, but there's still moments where he goes one-on-one and the gap between him and the guy running at him is too big. He doesn't close the gap. And that's what happened with the goal. I've seen better from him this season. I've seen better performances from this season. So I'm only judging him on what I've seen. Cucurella was too cold. Are you sure? Are you sure? Am I being a bit harsh? Could he be average? Could he be an average? Was he good in the, he played the inverted role yesterday as well. He was winning balls in the middle. Yeah. I still feel that he just didn't have that average. Maybe average. Maybe I've been a little bit too harsh, even with the goal. Maybe I need to put him in average. I think average, between average and poor. I wouldn't, if someone said poor, I wouldn't argue it. Someone said average, I wouldn't argue it. I mean, that's pretty impressive, but the goal was poor. Yeah, poor is harsh. Okay, fairs. But average is probably, he didn't have the most greatest of game, Couch. He got done on the goal. Let's be serious. He played well. Levan Jules is good, and he wins balls. And don't get me wrong, I like it. I like how aggressive he is in the midfield. He wins a tackle, and he gets the ball quickly. And we don't have that. I like that about Cucurella's game. He does do very well with that. But it's just, when it comes to his defensive responsibilities as a left back, talking about, when he goes back into his natural role, I just expect a bit more from him in his overall position. Yeah, I think average game's about right, you know. I'm going to say poor defensive game, but above average overall game. Yeah, so average is about right. We were poor yesterday. I wasn't impressed with the performance yesterday at all, by the way. I don't think... So, yeah, I'm going to say it's about average for now. Obviously, you guys can let us know what your thoughts and feelings are in the chat. And then we're going to go to Badiashile. Before I put him anywhere, I want to ask you guys where you think Badiashile should be for me. Go on, guys. You pick where Badiashile goes, and I'll tell you my thoughts. I want to know in the chat. Where does Badiashile go, guys? Where does Badiashile go on his performance yesterday for yous? I want to know what people's thoughts are in the chat. Kukura plays poor. Interesting. Average, pretty meh. Thomas says. What else is everyone saying? Average. Poor. Chopper Harris is poor. There's a lot of poors. Average. There's 3 averages and 3 poors. Average. 4. 4 averages, 3 poors. Wasn't super strong in the air. Average again. Okay, 5. So everyone wants him in average. I don't think he was... I don't know. I don't think he was bad. Like atrocious Badiashile level, what we've seen this season. I don't think he was great. He just kind of just like... He just kind of like just goes through games. And I don't really see much... Like, I don't know. I just don't know with Badiashile. I'm still stuck. I'm still stuck with him. I'm not sure about the goal. Still. There was times in games where he was getting caught behind again. His awareness. The thing that annoys me the most of him is his awareness. His awareness and like understanding the game. He's got no like leadership qualities in him. He's just he isn't aware about his alertness in his head of danger is not great. He hasn't got that no in his head. Like he just seems to like I don't know. It just seems to like fizz out. I can't explain it. I can't explain what it is, but it wasn't like I've seen Badiashile play better than yesterday by far. The Aston Villa second half performance where he was played off the right was very good. You know, like he's had better performances, but he just turns like a truck. I think it's just maybe the way he is. I don't know what it is. I'm just not fully sold on him still. And I'm not saying I don't like him. I'm just not sure. And we're going to do a defensive discussion tomorrow, guys. The defense discussion starts tomorrow. The end of season review starts tomorrow. Goalkeeper and defense. We'll be analysing. And I've got a lot to say about the defense, by the way. Some things that I have said in the past that I am not happy with the board about as well. So we'll be getting into that. We'll keep it in average at the moment. He did complete the most passes in the game. I feel like if he don't happen, we probably have no problem. Yeah. I don't know, Josh. I can't work it out with him yet still. I don't know, I don't know whether it's just the type of player he is. I don't know. Right. Who was next? Thiago Silva. Thiago Silva, guys. Oh, Thiago Silva. Oh, all right. Look, I'm going to be a bit biased. Too cold. It's his last game ever for Chelsea. You know, he signed off. He nearly scored, by the way, with a great header at a corner. Just defends with calm, responsibility, assurance. Rarely gets beat. Understands his role well. Positions himself well. It's just Thiago Silva, man. I don't care. Like, he's top. It's not that I don't like him. It's that I'm not sure about his abilities and if he can be consistent with it. I'm not sure what like I like his ball playing out sometimes. Badiashile we're talking about here, by the way. I don't like his slow reactions to danger. I don't like the way he moves. I think he moves just like a truck. I don't think he's that like good in receiving the ball. Like he's good with it, but receiving it, he just like has a bit of a bozo bit about him. So there's things, there's just things that I'm not sure on. Top of the list, Thiago Silva, cold. We'll leave him there. There's not much more to say. El Monstro, thank you so much. We've already gone through that with Thiago Silva already, but big up to him, man, and thank you for being what a great service he's been to this football club. Trevor Chalobah, listen, I'm going to be honest. Trevor Chalobah's above average for me. Played right back, not his favoured position. I think Chalobah's sick. I do. I think he's good, and I think we are going to be stupid to sell this guy. If anything, he's our best defender minus Thiago Silva. He's the one I don't have a problem with. He shows experience, calmness, good on the ball, wins aerial duels, doesn't get bullied. Don't beat him on one-on-ones. He's good on one-on-ones. He's improved on his one-on-ones. He knows when to go into tackles. He's not rash anymore. Yeah, he has a little bit of a bozo element to him, but this is the type of performance and consistency and experience and calmness and understanding that I like in my defenders. And he's showing it. He's showing it. And if we sell him, I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to be pissed. Because he's probably our best defender on paper at this moment in time. For me. Yeah. Very strong game again. Above average. I agree. Our best defender. Nope, he's good, but he was average. He's just good, man. He's one of the players that I think has benefited from Thiago Silva. He's one of them players that I feel like's learned a lot, took a lot, understood a lot, and he's showing it. And he shows a bit of leadership qualities as well. I love it. I love that he comes after the end of winning and goes on Twitter and writes, "My fucking club. My fucking club." He shows passion. He shows everything that we need. Nah, for me, he was above average, man. He's above average. He's above average. I mean, average is fair. I wouldn't even argue average, but I'm going to go above at the moment because I just think he's our best defender. I think both aren't good enough to start for Chelsea. Who? No, I disagree, man. Oh, Chilwell and Cucurella you're talking about. Yeah, we've got a left-back issue at the moment. We do have a left-back issue at the moment. But I'm going to go with above. And then we go to Malo Gusto, who came on, didn't he? Average. Average for Malo Gusto. Just nothing amazing, nothing bad. Just Malo Gusto, isn't it? That's what he does. Good player. Going to be one for the future for us. Great signing. One of the best signings we've done all day for me, bar and Palmer. And then we move into the midfield. Caicedo. Do you know what? I'm going to be a bit... I'm putting him cold, man. I'm putting him cold. I don't care, right? He was so good in the first half. This guy was winning tackles. He was wrapping his legs around people and then nicking the ball off them and winning us. And then we'd go on the break from it. He scored that amazing goal. His engine is unbelievable. He's just so good, man. He's just so good in that midfield for me. He's just cold. I just love everything I see about him at the moment. I like this Caicedo. This is the Caicedo of Brighton. If anything, maybe better. And he's going to get better, guys. If he stays fit and we play him in a continuous way and this, that, he's going to get better. This guy is just... This guy, I don't care, all right? It was 105 million. Yes, he was overpriced. We get all that. But I am still so glad we got him. I don't care about the money at this point. I don't. Because he's so cold. And when he wasn't on, when he came off in the second half, my goodness. I know Leslie, I think Couch rates him as well. I know Leslie's just been back from injury and whatever. But that midfield was just... He had to put Caicedo on with Leslie and with Gallagher because it was no. Caicedo, too cold, unbelievable. What a finish. What a goal. He deserves it. He's cold. Cold. Conor Gallagher. Listen, I'm going to put him above average. And then I just thought about what he did in the first half. That really annoyed me. I was about to put him above average. And then I just thought about something that annoyed me that he did. In the first half, he got the ball next to Caicedo. And he just doesn't have the technical ability to be able to turn his body and make a pass like Caicedo does. And it really annoyed me. And he lost the ball outside of our box from trying to like just do fuck all, basically. When he's not on the ball, it's okay. When he's not on the ball, it's okay. I like his game. When he's on the ball, trying to like, he's got better on the ball. Don't get me wrong, but in the deep areas when we receive the ball and we're under pressure and we want him to like, nah, man, nah. He ain't a pivot player, mate. He definitely ain't a pivot player. Average. I mean, some people are arguing poor in the chat right now. Poor for Gallagher in that game. We got Nyack saying here on the ball was beyond poor. Saved the game at the end, though, didn't he? He did. He did save the game at the end. But let's be serious. Solanke should have scored anyway after that tackle. Solanke had an open goal. That was on Solanke. That was on Solanke. The guy who remembers the odd bad thing player does, but not the good things. You know, and then the good things are off the ball, bro. The good things are off the ball. You know, but that what I've said is important in that pivot. You know, like, and he's just not. That's just not him. He just isn't a pivot player, in my opinion. But he's done a job, and I think he's done very well next to Caicedo off it. But yeah, average. Average. I'm gonna put average. I'm gonna go next with Leslie. Is that him? Is that even Leslie? I haven't seen. Is that Leslie? I want to put him in average. Nothing again really that good. But he's been out for long. I can't really criticize him. I don't really know what to say. He was what he's average. He's average. His engine. Yeah, that's it. I agree. That's a good. That's it though. Let's talk about the technical ability of him because that doesn't exist. No, I want to say average for Leslie. He came on, ran around, filled the hole, didn't really do much with it, kept the ball ticking. Nothing. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it like that. And then we go on to Sterling. Sterling for me yesterday was above average. I thought he played very well in the first half. Scored the goal. Was running at players. Looked more effective off the left yesterday than I've seen him in the past. Good runs in between. Created good pass throughs to Jackson on goal. Like, I thought Sterling was all right. Second half, he kind of fizzed out. But for a Sterling performance, can I just say, for a Sterling performance that we've seen in the past that hasn't been great, he was nowhere near that level yesterday. He was actually better on the ball. And he held the ball up well, in my opinion. Yeah, Leslie was good. I'd just put him average. But, you know, for me, Sterling had a good performance yesterday. I think there's nothing wrong with saying that Sterling played well yesterday. He did. We've seen worse performances, in my opinion. But he scored the goal, good finish, linked up play, carried the ball well, dribbled well. Yeah, he has his Sterling little moments here and there, but he wasn't as bad yesterday, in my opinion. So I'm going to put Sterling as above average yesterday. And then we move on from Sterling to the other side, Madueke. There we go. That's where Madueke's going. That is where Madueke's going. Non-existent. Didn't really perform. Oh, yeah, 100%, Josh. That was a penalty. Should have had a penalty as well, Sterling. Sterling was the best winger we had on the pitch yesterday, by the way. Definitely our best winger on the pitch for once. Madueke was poor. I don't know if you agree with me in the chat. Does anyone disagree with me? I'd like to know what people's thoughts were of Madueke yesterday. He's just so ineffective. You say average. I wasn't impressed with him. Yeah, I can't really say average for Nani. Just had a poor game. It was just poor. He's the first person for me that goes in poor. And I just didn't see enough dribbling ability. I didn't see him take on his man enough. I didn't see him get in the game enough. I didn't see him be effective enough off the wing. I didn't see anything really from him. He was just cruising. Just cruised the game. Like, well, no one else is going to come on because no one can replace me. It's the last game. I'm just going to cruise. This is why we need players on that right. Because I don't want it just to be Madueke. I don't just want Madueke to be the only option we have. Shouldn't be the only option we have. Yeah, but if for his standards, like I expect more from him. He hasn't had a good game for a little bit for me. The last two games, maybe a little bit ineffective. Bobby don't like Mudryk. He likes Sterling, but yeah. And then we're going to go on to this one. This might disrupt the fan base a bit. This might disrupt the fan base a bit. I thought Cole Palmer was poor. Yesterday. For his levels, for his standards. Yeah, he passed the ball back to Sterling, who then had to do all of the rest of it anyway. But that's all. Everything else that he done was poor. Greedy. How many times could he have laid it off to Nkunku in the second half? When he was free and he didn't, and he was just doing too much. Ineffective. Not really good. Ineffective in the middle. Wasn't linking the game. Little bits of moments here and there, but he ghosted. And every time he got into a good position, he made the wrong decision. Every time he got into a good position, he made the wrong decision. You can't... But it was a 1-2 couch. It was just a basic 1-2. The rest was it on Sterling. It wasn't a 1-2 then goal. It was a 1-2, dribble, beat your man, and then shoot with your left foot, and then score. It didn't like, do you know what I mean? Like, Sterling had to beat his man still. I thought he was poor. I didn't like what I saw of him yesterday. And he's okay to do that because it's the end of the season. And he's been so good. And he has been so cold. But I will criticise him still when I don't see good performances. Yeah, but he was wasteful. He made poor decisions most of the game. I just thought he was unlike him. Usually he makes the right decision. He was being greedy. He was just like trying to do too much and then shoot. Just pass it, man. He just annoyed me a little bit yesterday. Like, but I'm not that angry with him. But he just annoyed me in that game yesterday because I think we could have had more. That's all. So I want to say he was poor. I'm going to keep him in poor. I'm sorry. I can't even see average. I can't see an average performance for him there. I think he was poor. You know, he's getting a little bit greedy since Nkunku's come back in the team. We're going back to Nkunku now. Average for Nkunku. Don't think he done anything bad. I actually think he done a lot of good. Them death balls over the top to Jackson. Controls the ball on the spot. And then the technique to just kick it first time without even running on the spot and clear the defence and put the ball over top to Jackson for him to then run on. And he done that so many times. He's just so good, man. He's just so good. He's just so good, I swear. But should he have scored? Yeah. Should he have scored? Yes. He done that little death ball over the top to Jackson, who cut back inside and laid him off, and he hit the ball straight at the goalie, which is unlike him, to be quite honest with you. I bet it was his first shot of the game. So he got it on target. He set it up. He nearly finished it. But I want him scoring them. I want Nkunku burying them. He's just so good, though. He's just so good. He is just so good. You know, like, but even for his standards, in them moments, I want him finished because he is the one that will finish them I'm telling you next season, guys. If he stays fit and he's in this team, he will be the one finishing our chances. Create enough for him, set him up, he will score. He doesn't need 5 chances like Jackson. He doesn't. He might need 2 if he misses the first one. But I promise you, if you give him a chance like that on the second one, he scores. And that's what I want. He's that kind of player, you know? He's that kind of player. Above average if he did. Yeah, it'd been above average, but I think average is fair as well. Yeah, average. He's warming up, but it's a shame it's the end of the season. I agree. But he gets a pre-season again, so I'm glad. Hopefully he stays fit and stuff. Nah, not for me. He weren't average for me. He was poor. He was poor for me. I thought he had Madwakey was not that good for me. But anyway, again, I'm going on eye test and you're going on stats. So I'm going on what I saw. And I didn't like what I saw. Nkunku hopefully stays healthy. He's along with Osimhen, finishes a ton of chances. Like, can you imagine Osimhen, Palmer, Nkunku? Jesus. Imagine Nkunku, Osimhen, and Palmer. Yeah. Jeez. Even Guy Corres. I know we keep talking about Osimhen, but even that guy Corres guy, he's a finisher, mate. You create enough for that guy. He's bagging goals, and he scores an array of goals as well, by the way. He looks quite good. I'm not going to lie. He's a proper striker, that guy. Whether he's consistent's a different story. Whether he can go and do the same level of stats that he's done this season is another question, and I will stand back from that. But what I saw of him and his ability and ranging of scoring, that guy, Corres guy, he's good, man. And I've not even watched him enough. I just watched bits and drabs of him. Notice Palmer was having a day off. Yeah, he did. He did for me. He definitely had a day off. And then we go on to Jackson. Average for me. Jackson just had an average game. Just a typical Jackson game, right? Running in behind, holding the ball up, dropping in, linking up play. Should have scored, maybe. Yeah, average. He's good, Jim, but let's keep an eye on the Nigerian players. Mateta, what do you think? I haven't watched it yet. I need to go and watch. Apparently, he's finishing for fun, but he's a nuisance. He's a lump, isn't he? He's a lump. But talking about Jackson, guys, what we saying? Caicedo was superb when he come on. Really? I wouldn't say he was superb. I'd say he's average. Once he learns to pick his head up in transition, yes, I agree. 100,000,001% on that. 100,000,001%. He does all of the other things good, but I'm used to seeing that now. Does that make sense? Like, I'm used to seeing him drop deep, receive the ball, carry it well. I'm used to seeing him making little runs behind. But it's just that last bit still with him, isn't it? You know, and he looks down too much. Josh is right. He's always looking down at his feet. He's always concentrating on his feet, you know? Which can be a little bit annoying. Not going to lie. Jackson has been improving all season. He's been better in the second half since he's come back from AFCON. 100%. Poor over average for me. Maybe. But I don't know whether the killer instinct comes with time. Does he have that? Can he improve in front of goal? Can he have that killer edge about him that we need? You know, he could be such an unbelievable player if he just had that goal way, like that killer goal instinct about him, like that Nkunku finishing about him. If you added Nkunku's finishing, like how calm he is in front of goal and how he finishes, and the types of finishes, and you gave it to Jackson with what Jackson has already, we wouldn't need a striker. We wouldn't need a striker. That's me saying it, by the way. If he had that finishing ability, you wouldn't need to buy a striker. Well, we would, but it'd be someone backup. Yeah, that's another option as well. Him coming off the wide could be... He's versatile. He's going to play off the left for me if we get a striker. And he can play up front. Or he's going to hold bench. Or he's going to mix. He's going to be rotated. I don't know. But, you know, I don't care as long as my striker is Victor/Victor. Victor/Victor. Are they both called Victors, are they? Are they? Well, Victor Gakaris. Is it Victor Gakaris and Victor Osimhen, is it? Is it? I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that was their first. I know Victor Osimhen is. There's been signs of improvement from Jackson at the end of the season. Yeah, I agree, Chopper Harris. Big up to you, as always. What a legend you are, if you are the real Chopper Harris. If you are the real Chopper Harris, big up to you. And Nkunku took time to get there. What do you mean? Yeah, but he did to a degree, but he developed into it, didn't he? Even partnered with an actual striker. Don't forget, Drogba learned over time. True. And this is why I'm not going to take too much in the first season. But then why are we going to sign? And this is the biggest question. And we're going to talk about the forward line on Thursday. But the big question is, do we sign a prolific striker that's going to cost us money? Or do we find a striker that is of the same maybe level but scores or as Jackson, and they compete with each other, and we just work on Jackson's development? Do we just have a striker, so we've got another striker along with Jackson, so it's not just Jackson? Or do we buy an out-and-out I'm starting striker and Jackson doesn't play up front again, maybe on the odd occasion? What do we do? What do we do here? I want to know. What are we doing? Yes, 100%. A lot of money. Josh says pay up. He thinks we should pay up. Interesting. I prefer that guy, Dobrik. He's such a good striker, only 40 million euros. I don't know who he is. Who's he play for? No, we need a proper striker. We didn't sell hotels to not spend heaps of money. True, but stop these jokes. You watch the season and you don't want a prolific striker. What are you talking about, Nomadic? I asked the question to use. I didn't ask me the question. I asked yous. Do we get a prolific striker, or do we just buy someone because we need a striker anyway, or do we just buy someone of the level or near level Jackson to compete and work with Jackson's development more? And with this striker and they rotate, what do we do? That's what I'm asking. That's what I'm asking. Answer the question instead of coming in with fire. Listen to the question instead of coming in with fire. Next time, Nomadic. 30 million Victor Roque for competition and worry about goalkeeper centre back. I agree. Dobvik looks good. He plays for Girona. Okay, Girona. Yep, they are Victor Jackson can learn off them. Interesting. Declared. You tell him, Nomadic. Tell yourself, Declared. You little small boy. Looks like someone. Look into someone like Boniface or Garassi. Interesting. Tim, stop these jokes. 5 strikers is now. You guys. The club will sign Sesko. Oh. No. But do you know what? I don't even rate Sesko as much as others. I'm not going to lie. I watched him and I don't think he's that good. But he's another one like Jackson. So that goes back to, let me just say this straight up. If we sign Sesko as the striker, he isn't being brought in as the main striker. He'll play. He's being brought in as the same as Jackson to be developed. Because I've watched that boy and he needs a lot of developing. He is nowhere near ready for me, Sesko. I've watched him. He's good. He's tall. He's strong. Certainly other. But I watched him in Champions League and I was just like, this guy ain't ready. This guy is just not ready. He's not ready. He's not ready though, Josh. He's not ready. Trust me. I've watched him. Like, yeah, he's scored and assisted in the last. Yeah, Fez. That's good development. But what I'm saying, for what I've seen of him, I don't think he's ready yet. Like Jackson, I think he will come in. Like, this is the whole point of what I'm trying to say, Chiz. You sign him, it goes with the project. Just develop. Or are we signing this main man, 40 goals a season, prolific, top striker of Europe style? That's what I'm trying to understand, you know? Sesko is a bum. I need Osimhen. No, but yes, he's a project striker. Yeah, 100%. So with him and Jackson being rotated and development, you know? Striker for me is like 4th priority. If they get Sesko and not Osimhen, that tells us everything we need to know. True. Tells me what they want to do. They will not bench Jackson, Gem. Hence, a top striker is not on the cards, is what Vic's saying. Interesting. I don't want a 21, 22-year-old. Bring me a proven killer. There you go. This is the question I'm asking you guys. Because if you're going for Sesko, you're just bringing in development players. Players you're going to need to develop. Players that we're going to need to give time and patience to. Because that's what Sesko is. Same as Jackson. Same in the same ball, in my opinion. He's in the same ball. But if you go and buy Osimhen, for example, then you're spending the dollar to start him in that position all season. You're going with the more developed, ready, for that money, he's got to be complete. For that money, he's got to be complete. But he's not complete, by the way. He's not complete, by the way. Osimhen. Good in goal. He's good, very good in front of goal. He's good in the box. He's good at holding the ball up to a degree. He's not good at carrying the ball like Jackson. He's got some of he's even got certain weaknesses to his game for 130 million, in my opinion. But he scores goals. Yeah, maybe, Josh. Maybe. I agree. But even he misses. I've seen him miss some stupid chances, Osimhen. They all miss, don't get me wrong. But it's a lot of money. And with Osimhen, it's just the money for me. It's just the money for me. I get that Lukaku phobia. That's it. I get the Lukaku phobia. As soon as we go and spend 100 and odd million on a striker from Italy, I get Lukaku phobia. I'm not saying that it won't work or whatever, but I just think, no. Do you get what I mean? Do you get what I mean? It's just, I worry. I just worry. I'm like, oh no, we bought this guy. He's going to have the expectation of the price tag. He's got to score a minimum of 10, 15, 20 goals a season. If he doesn't do that and he scores 6 or 7 goals or 8 goals or 9 goals, in the Premier League, we're all going to be questioning it. And then we're going to moan about how much we spent on a striker that don't score, is not answering the questions or taking the chances that we're creating for him. And then I'm just like, oh my God, all of this again. We have to get it right, man. It's just a lot of money. That's all. I don't mind Osimhen coming to Chelsea, just not for 130 million. Like, why would 130 million is a lot of money to be signing for Victor Osimhen. True, he's won a league. I agree with that. Experience. Does he bring experience? Yes. He ticks a lot of boxes. He does tick a lot of boxes. It's just a lot of money. But then you pay for what you get, right? I think Napoli would be open to say Lukaku plus Barrow or Caicedo plus a little cash. That would be incredible business. If they're up to do that, I'd do it because I want that guy off the books. I don't want Lukaku in this team, man. We've got to get rid of him. That's the biggest flop. One of the biggest flops that we've ever made in our Chelsea history. If not the biggest. That's bigger than Fernando Torres, by the way. Lukaku is a bigger flop than Torres. He tops the flop league. Just because of the amount of money we spent. The top striker needs to outdo Jackson. That should be 25 goals. Overpriced, I agree. Needs someone, especially a striker who knows how to get over the line and score big goals. Yeah, I hear that. Look, I get it. I hear it. It's just, what route are we going to take? How are they going to do this, the board? What is their targets when it comes to striker options? Are we looking at young strikers again? Because if it are, people like Sesko are going to be the ones that we're going to be looking at. And then that means we're going to be looking at development strikers again, rather than proven strikers with a prolific style about them who have developed already and done it already and have experience. We're going down the other way again. What route are we going down? Experience route? Development route? There's two options. That's what we've got to wait and see, guys. And we're going to be getting into that as well. Yeah. And maybe he helps Jackson as well with his development. Don't get me wrong. But guys, this has been an amazing show. I've enjoyed it. 1 hour and a half. No panel today, which is unusual. I'm used to having like a panel here. No panel today. You just had me for an hour and a half. Tomorrow, guys, we start the season review show. 1 p.m. here tomorrow. Goalkeepers and defense season review. We're covering all the defenders, all their performances, everything. Wednesday, midfielder. Thursday, forward Friday manager. Lots and lots and lots and lots of shows for you guys that we're going to be pumping in as well. But big up to every single one of you as always, guys. I've enjoyed this show. The last match reaction of this season. We're going to be doing the end of season review, and then we're going to be doing the transfer news, guys. It's going to be transfer news shows for you. We'll be bringing them back for you. Be discussing Pochettino news, player news, players in, players out, everything over summer that goes on. We'll be talking about here. Lots and lots of shows for you over this period. Big love to every single one of you again, guys. We've done an hour and a half today. Thank you so much. Up the Chelsea. Let's hope City beat Man United so we get Europa League football, guys. See you tomorrow. Let's go.